What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Oleksandr Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk sets the record straight on who he believes is the best pound for pound. And he names the best fighter on the planet. The unified heavyweight champion Oleksandr Usyk has made his pick for the sport's #1 pound for pound fighter after two stellar performances from both Naoya and Terrence Crawford last month. And this is what he had to say. He said, first, it's Terrence Crawford. The second is Naoya Inoue. And those are the words of Oleksandr Usyk, and let me counterpunch. You know, it's real damn hard. It's really hard. Almost impossible to dislike Usyk. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you call someone that takes themselves out of the equation of comparison to everyone else, because a lot of times, you know, when people do that, they're always comparing themselves to other people in an egotistical like way. You know, so most people, most fighters would say, well, first me. You know what I mean? They would use that as an opportunity to amplify themselves. You know what I mean? And Usyk, you can see, don't do that. He's like, the best fighter on the planet is Terrence Crawford, then Inoue. You know what I mean? He didn't even say number 3, because maybe he was number 3. But it was no need to even talk about who was number 3 or 4 or 5. He just said, hey, who's the best out of the two? It's Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. You know what I mean? And a lot of people could argue like maybe he still is. Well, no, it's Terrence Crawford based on the performance. You know, he got a stoppage. So pound for pound is what you can do best in your weight class. The best performances in your weight class. You know, a lot of people that rate pound for pound, you know, you can't take a loss when in a pound for pound debate. Okay, so that's against the rules of pound for pound. None of those guys have lost. All of them are undefeated. So, you know, for that standard, Usyk could have at least said, well, I'm better than Inoue. He was like, no. Look, it's Terrence Crawford, then Inoue. You know, and it's just crazy that he's like, look, I'm setting the record straight. I believe who it is, you know, and it is Terrence Crawford. It's not Oleksandr Usyk. I don't think it's Inoue at all. The problem with Inoue, though, he doesn't have enough guys like Manny Pacquiao did. See, Manny Pacquiao had Barrera. He had Morales. He had Marquez. He had a lot of those guys that he could fight, you know, and they could clearly show that, hey, this is a one bad mother sucker. Whereas Inoue doesn't have those guys. You know, it's not enough guys down there anymore to really state that claim. He doesn't have a Lomachenko to go up against because Lomachenko moved up. You know, so the only thing that he could do is possibly pull a Manny Pacquiao or really a Chocolatito, you know, where Chocolatito went up and went up and went up until he couldn't go up no more, until he's just too small to be fighting guys that are much, much, much bigger than him. You know, so Inoue doesn't have that. But Usyk, you know, has the opportunity. Terrence has the opportunity. So I really wouldn't even rate Inoue as number 2. I would give him number 3 behind Usyk. But Usyk saying, no. Terrence Crawford is number 1. This is his beliefs and his on pound for pound list, and Inoue is number 2, and number 3 is absolute, because we won't talk about myself. Nice, and nice. But you guys tell me what you think of Oleksandr Usyk telling us who the best fighter on the planet is, and he's not talking about himself. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.